Have you ever stopped to wonder why you really chase women? Not the story you tell yourself about love or connection, but the deeper, more uncomfortable truth beneath the surface. What if I told you that your endless pursuit of women isn't about them at all? It's about a growing emptiness inside you that you're desperately trying to fill. Picture this. You're scrolling through dating apps, messaging multiple women, feeling that rush of excitement with each new match. You think you're living your best life, sampling what the world has to offer. But what if this isn't freedom? What if it's actually a prison of your own making? Most men don't realize they're caught in a psychological trap. Every swipe, every flirtatious message, every conquest is not about the women themselves. It's about a temporary escape from something much more painful, the void within yourself. You're not really seeking women. You're seeking a momentary relief from your own inner discomfort. Think about the last time you felt truly excited about a new potential connection. Was it really about the person, or was it about the validation? That spike of dopamine when someone shows interest, that brief moment when you feel wanted, worthy, seen. It's like a drug, and you're constantly chasing the next hit. One woman, then another, always searching, never satisfied. This isn't just about dating. This is about how you've been taught to measure your worth. From a young age, society has whispered, and sometimes shouted, that a man's value is determined by his ability to attract women. How many women find you attractive? How many can you potentially be with? It's a toxic game of numbers that leaves you feeling more empty with each conquest. Let's get real. Your phone is filled with conversations that never go deep. Your social media is a highlight reel of potential connections. You've become a master of presenting different versions of yourself to different women, never showing your true self. Why? Because showing your true self means facing the fear that you might not be enough. This pattern isn't about sexual desire. It's about a deep-seated fear of inadequacy. Every new woman becomes a temporary band-aid, covering up a wound you're afraid to look at directly. You collect experiences like trophies, believing each one will finally prove your worth. But deep down, you know something is missing. The modern world has perfected this trap. Dating apps are designed to keep you searching. Social media bombards you with images of perfect men and women. Pornography has rewired your brain to constantly seek novelty. You're trapped in a cycle of pursuit that promises fulfillment but delivers nothing but temporary distraction. But here's the hard truth. No number of women can fill the hole inside you. No amount of external validation can replace the work of understanding and accepting yourself. Each new woman is just another attempt to run from the one person you're most afraid to face, yourself. This isn't a condemnation. This is an invitation to look deeper, to understand the patterns that have been controlling you, to recognize that your worth isn't determined by how many women want you, but by how well you know and accept yourself. Are you ready to stop running? What's truly at stake when you're trapped in this cycle of endless pursuit? It's not just about dating or relationships. You're losing something far more precious: your sense of self, your capacity for genuine connection, and your ability to live a meaningful life. Imagine your psychological energy as a limited resource. Every hour spent swiping, messaging, planning conquests is an hour stolen from your potential. Think about the dreams you've put on hold, the skills you've neglected, the personal growth you've avoided. This addiction to external validation is bleeding you dry, not just emotionally, but in every aspect of your life. The consequences run deep. Your relationships become shallow, interchangeable experiences. Women stop being human beings and become nothing more than validation tokens. You develop a pattern of using and discarding, never allowing yourself to truly know or be known. Each interaction becomes a performance, a carefully crafted act designed to win approval, to prove your worth. But here's the devastating truth. The more you chase, the more empty you become. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. No matter how many women you meet, how many matches you collect, the inner void remains. In fact, it grows larger with each superficial encounter. You're not solving the problem, you're running from it. Your mental health takes a serious hit. Constant comparison, the pressure to perform, the fear of missing out. These create a chronic state of anxiety. Your self-worth becomes completely dependent on external validation. One rejected message can send you spiraling. One dry spell can make you feel worthless. You've outsourced your entire sense of value to the opinions of others. Relationships become impossible. How can you truly connect with someone when you're always looking for the next best thing? Your potential partners sense this. They feel your lack of genuine presence, your inability to be vulnerable. You become a master of surface-level charm but a stranger to real intimacy. The technology designed to connect us has become your greatest weapon of self-destruction. Dating apps, social media, endless streams of potential partners. They're not helping you. They're trapping you in a cycle of shallow interactions. Each swipe is another nail in the coffin of your authentic self. Your masculinity, not the toxic, performative version, but the true essence of manhood, is being eroded. Strength isn't about how many women want you. It's about knowing yourself, standing in your truth, being capable of genuine connection. Right now, you're trading your power for momentary validation. The ultimate price? Time. Years of your life, spent in a holding pattern. Never fully living, never fully growing. While you're busy collecting experiences, life is passing you by. Your dreams, your potential, your capacity for deep, meaningful relationships, all sacrificed on the altar of external validation. This isn't just about dating. This is about your entire life trajectory. Every moment spent in this cycle is a moment stolen from becoming the person you're truly meant to be. The stakes aren't just about relationships. They're about your entire sense of self, your potential, your future. The question isn't just whether you can change. The question is, how much are you willing to lose before you do? Let's dig into something most men never want to admit. The women you're chasing? They're not really about the women at all. They're about the parts of yourself you're desperately trying to avoid. Projection is like a psychological magic trick your mind plays. Imagine you have a box of emotions, fears, and unresolved issues that you're too scared to open. Instead of dealing with what's inside, you start seeing those exact things in other people, especially the women you pursue. It's like projecting a movie onto a blank screen, except the movie is your own unresolved inner world. Think back to your childhood. How did you learn what it means to be a man? Maybe your father showed you that masculinity is about conquering, about never showing weakness. Maybe you learned that your worth comes from external validation. How many girls like you? How many people think you're cool? These early lessons create deep wounds that you're still carrying. Every time you chase a woman, you're actually chasing something much deeper. You're trying to fill a hole that was created long ago. That desperate need for attention. It's the wounded child inside you screaming to be seen. That constant search for the perfect woman. It's really a search for the parts of yourself you've rejected. Your ego has become a master of defense. It's created an elaborate system to protect you from facing your true self. Each new conquest is like a band-aid, covering up the pain of feeling not good enough. You collect women like trophies, believing each one will finally prove your worth. But deep down, you know something is missing. The crazy part? You're not even seeing the real women in front of you. You're seeing projections, versions of women that match your internal fears and fantasies. One woman becomes a mother figure, another a validation machine, another a trophy. They're not individuals. They're walking, talking mirrors of your own unresolved issues. Consider how you talk about women when they're not around. The language of conquest, of using and discarding. This isn't about women. This is about your own fear of vulnerability, your own unprocessed pain. Every degrading comment, every casual dismissal, these are windows into the parts of yourself you're afraid to acknowledge. Your pursuit of women is actually a complex dance of avoidance. You're running from intimacy while pretending to chase it. You collect experiences, but you never allow yourself to be truly known. It's safer to keep things surface level, to keep moving, to never sit still with your own thoughts. The women you pursue aren't the problem. They're symptoms of a much deeper issue. You're projecting your own fragmented sense of self onto them, hoping they'll somehow put you back together. But no woman can heal what you refuse to confront in yourself. This isn't about blaming yourself. This is about understanding. Every pattern has a root. Every behavior is trying to protect you in some way. The first step is seeing the pattern, really seeing it, without judgment. You're not broken. You're just learning how to be whole. Imagine, for a moment, what it would mean to stop projecting, to see women as full, complex human beings, to see yourself the same way. That's where real freedom begins. The wounded inner child is the most powerful force you've never acknowledged. He's Been running your life, making decisions, driving your relationships, and you don't even realize it. Every time you chase validation, every time you need to prove yourself, that scared little boy inside is pulling the strings. Let's talk about how this child was formed. Growing up, you received messages about what it means to be a man. Maybe your dad was distant and you learned that love is something you have to earn. Perhaps you were told to be tough, to never show weakness. Some of you were praised only when you achieved something, creating a brutal cycle where your worth became tied to performance. This isn't just about your personal history, it's a generational pattern. Most men inherit a broken model of masculinity. A model that says vulnerability is weakness, that emotions are something to be buried, that your value is determined by your conquests. You're carrying wounds that aren't even entirely your own. Think about the pressure you've been under. Be successful, be attractive, be cool, be tough. Always be something, never just be. Your entire sense of self became a performance. Dating became another stage where you prove your worth. Each woman becomes a judge and you're constantly auditioning for approval. The crazy part? That little boy inside is terrified. He's not looking for sex, he's looking for acceptance. He's looking to be seen, to be told he's enough. But instead of finding that acceptance within himself, he's been collecting external validation like a desperate currency. One woman, then another, always hoping the next one will finally make him feel whole. This isn't just about romantic relationships. Look at how this plays out in every area of your life. Your career, your friendships, your relationship with yourself. They're all infected by this deep-seated belief that you're not enough. You're constantly trying to prove something to someone, even if that someone is just the critical voice in your head. The defense mechanisms are elaborate. You've become a master of appearing confident while being deeply insecure. You create personas, different versions of yourself for different people. One version for dating apps, another for work, another for your friends. But who are you really? That's the question you're afraid to ask. Your ego has become a fortress built to protect that wounded child. It pushes you to chase more, achieve more, collect more experiences. But it's all a distraction, a way to avoid the real work of healing, of understanding yourself. Each conquest is another brick in the wall, keeping you safe from truly facing your fears. The most painful truth? No amount of external validation will ever be enough. You could have 100 women throwing themselves at you, and that little boy inside would still feel empty. Because the problem was never about how many women want you. It was always about how you see yourself. Healing starts with seeing that child, not with judgment, but with compassion. That scared, wounded part of you isn't something to be fixed or hidden. He's a part of you that needs understanding, that needs love. The very wounds you've been running from are actually your greatest opportunity for growth. Imagine for a moment what it would mean to embrace that inner child, to look at him with kindness, to tell him he's already enough, to stop proving and start accepting. That's where real strength begins. Not in conquests, not in performance, but in radical self-acceptance. The journey isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole, about integrating all the parts of yourself you've been taught to reject, about recognizing that your worth was never something to be earned, but something you've had inside you all along. Your ego is the ultimate survival expert. It's like an overprotective bodyguard that's been running your life, making decisions that keep you safe. But safe from what? The truth about yourself. Consider how your ego operates. It's constantly creating elaborate stories to protect you from facing your deepest fears. When a relationship fails, it's never your fault. When you can't commit, it's because women are the problem. When you're feeling empty, you blame the dating scene, technology, or anything else but yourself. These are the ego's magic tricks: distraction and deflection. The defense mechanisms are sophisticated. Your ego has become a master storyteller, crafting narratives that make you feel powerful while keeping you completely disconnected from your true self. You tell yourself you're just enjoying life, sampling experiences, but deep down you know it's a performance. You're not living, you're hiding. Look at how you move through the world of dating. You've developed a complex system of emotional armor, different personas for different women, different stories, different versions of yourself. It's exhausting, but your ego believes this is the only way to survive. Each new persona is another layer of protection, another way to avoid being truly seen. The most powerful defense mechanism? Constant movement, you never stop. Always swiping, always messaging, always chasing the next connection. This isn't freedom, it's a prison of perpetual escape. Your ego keeps you in motion so you never have to sit still with yourself, so you never have to face the emptiness inside. Rejection becomes another tool of defense. When a woman isn't interested, your ego immediately goes into protection mode. You tell yourself she's not good enough, that you dodged a bullet. It's easier to reject first than to feel rejected. Each dismissal is another brick in the wall, another way to avoid vulnerability. Your ego has weaponized dating into a game of emotional survival. Every interaction becomes a performance, a test of your worth. You're not seeking connection, you're seeking proof. Proof that you're attractive, desirable, successful. But proof from whom? The world, other men, yourself? The tragedy is that these defense mechanisms are killing the very thing you want most. Genuine connection, real intimacy, the ability to be truly seen and accepted. Your ego believes it's protecting you, but it's actually destroying your chances of finding what you truly desire. Think about the energy this takes. The constant scanning, the endless calculating, the perpetual performance. How much of your life force is spent maintaining these elaborate defense systems? How much potential are you sacrificing to keep running from yourself? The most painful truth: these defense mechanisms are weakening you, not protecting you. They're a sign of deep insecurity, not strength. Real strength isn't about never being vulnerable. It's about having the courage to be seen, to be real, to stop hiding. Your ego will fight this realization with everything it has. It will create fear, doubt, resistance. It will tell you that dropping these defenses means destruction. But what if the opposite is true? What if dropping these defenses is the only way to truly become powerful? Imagine for a moment what it would mean to lower your guard, to stop performing, to show up as your actual self, without all the elaborate protection. That's not weakness. That's the most radical form of strength there is. The first crack in the armor always feels terrifying, but it's also the first breath of real freedom. The moment you stop letting your ego run the show is the moment you start truly living. Welcome to the perfect psychological trap. Modern technology designed to keep you addicted, distracted, and constantly seeking validation. Your smartphone isn't just a device. It's a sophisticated weapon of mass psychological destruction. Dating apps are the ultimate dopamine delivery system. They've turned human connection into a game, and you're the unwitting player. Every swipe, every match, every message is carefully engineered to keep you hooked. It's not about finding connection, it's about keeping you scrolling, searching, never satisfied. Think about how these apps are designed. Infinite scrolling, constant notifications, the unpredictable reward system that keeps you checking, always checking. It's the same psychological mechanism used in gambling. You're not searching for a partner, you're chasing a hit of validation, and the apps know exactly how to keep you addicted. Social media has weaponized your insecurities. Endless streams of perfectly curated lives, impossible body standards, relationships that look flawless. Every scroll is a reminder of what you think you're missing. You're not seeing reality. You're seeing a carefully constructed illusion designed to make you feel inadequate. Pornography has rewritten your brain's entire approach to intimacy. It's not just about sexual content anymore. It's a complete rewiring of how you see connection, how you view women, how you understand your own desires. You're being trained to see women as consumable content, not human beings. Quick hits of excitement replace genuine intimacy. Your attention has become a commodity. Tech companies have teams of psychologists working around the clock to keep you engaged. They understand your brain better than you do. Each notification is a carefully crafted trigger. Each algorithm is designed to keep you scrolling, searching, never finding. The most insidious part? You believe you're in control. You think these are your choices, your desires. But every swipe, every search, every interaction is being subtly manipulated. Your brain is being reprogrammed without your conscious awareness. You're not using technology. Technology is using you. Imagine the mental energy you're spending. How many hours do you waste scrolling, swiping, checking? How many potential connections have you missed while staring at a screen? How many real-life experiences have passed you by while you're lost in a digital world of infinite possibilities? Dating apps sell you a lie of abundance. Infinite choices. Always something better just a swipe away. But this abundance is an illusion. The more options you have, the less capable you become of making a genuine connection. You're becoming paralyzed by possibility, unable to commit, always wondering what else might be out there. Your phone has become a shield, a way to avoid real vulnerability. Why have a difficult conversation when you can just swipe? Why work on a relationship when another option is always available? You're collecting potential connections like trading cards, never truly investing in any of them. The algorithms are watching. They learn your patterns. They know exactly what keeps you engaged. A slightly provocative image, a perfectly timed notification, a potential match that plays into your deepest insecurities and desires. You think you're choosing, but you're being chosen. This isn't about technology being evil. This is about understanding how technology has been designed to exploit your deepest psychological vulnerabilities. Every feature, every design choice is about keeping you addicted, keeping you searching, keeping you just unsatisfied enough to keep scrolling. The first step to freedom is seeing the trap, recognizing that these aren't neutral tools. They're psychological weapons designed to keep you exactly where you are, searching, but never finding, always wanting, but never satisfied. Let's talk about the real business model behind your insecurity. Your search for validation isn't just a personal struggle. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry designed to profit from your deepest fears and weaknesses. Every aspect of modern culture is selling you a version of masculinity that keeps you perpetually unsatisfied. Fitness brands, clothing lines, dating apps, self-help programs, they all make money by convincing you that you're not enough. Your insecurity is their most valuable product. Look at the marketing targeted at men. Ads that scream you need to be more muscular, more successful, more attractive. Cologne that promises to make women want you. Fitness programs that guarantee you'll become irresistible. Clothing brands that sell the fantasy of instant confidence. It's not about helping you. It's about keeping you constantly feeling like you need to improve. Dating apps are the ultimate capitalist machine. They don't want you to find a relationship. They want you to keep searching. If you actually found someone, you'd stop paying. Their entire business model depends on your continued dissatisfaction. More swipes, more matches, more potential, but never actual connection. The fitness industry thrives on your insecurity. Supplements, workout programs, diet plans, they sell the promise of transformation, but the message is always the same. You're not good enough yet. One more product, one more program, and then you'll be worthy. It's a cycle designed to never end. Luxury brands have turned masculinity into a commodity. Watches, cars, clothing, each promising to elevate your status to make you more attractive, more successful. You're not buying a product, you're buying the illusion of worth. Each purchase is another attempt to fill the void inside. Pornography is a multi-billion-dollar industry built entirely on exploiting your psychological vulnerabilities. It's not about sex, it's about selling an impossible fantasy that keeps you disconnected from real intimacy. Each click is another dollar in their pocket, another moment you're not addressing your real needs. Self-help and pickup artist industries are particularly insidious. They sell you complicated systems for attracting women, complicated strategies for building confidence. But these aren't solutions. They're additional layers of complexity that keep you from addressing the real issue, your relationship with yourself. Social media influencers have turned your insecurity into a content machine. Lifestyle gurus, dating coaches, fitness experts. They're selling you a carefully curated version of masculinity. Their entire business depends on you feeling inadequate. Success for them means you keep watching, keep buying, keep feeling like you need to improve. The modern man has become a perfect consumer, constantly told you're not enough, constantly sold solutions that never fully satisfy. Your search for validation has become an economic ecosystem. Companies profit from your fear, your insecurity, your constant sense of inadequacy. This isn't a conspiracy, it's just business. Your pain is profitable. Your search for validation is a product to be marketed, packaged, and sold back to you. Each app, each product, each program is another way of selling you the same lie. You're not enough, but this might help. The most radical act is to realize you don't need to buy anything to be worthy. Your value isn't something to be purchased. It's something to be discovered. The moment you stop consuming and start understanding is the moment you become truly powerful. These industries don't want you to wake up. They want you to keep searching, keep buying, keep feeling just inadequate enough to reach for your wallet. Your insecurity is their most valuable asset. And the only way to break free is to recognize the game. You think you're free, but you're trapped in a prison of your own making, with bars constructed from endless choices and hollow connections. Freedom isn't having more options. Freedom is having the courage to choose deeply, to commit, to be fully present. Right now, you're doing the opposite. You're collecting experiences like trading cards, never truly investing in any of them. This isn't freedom. This is avoidance. Compare your pattern to any other addiction. An alcoholic believes each drink is a choice. A gambling addict believes each bet is voluntary. You believe each swipe, each match, each potential connection is your free will. But addiction is never about choice. It's about compulsion. Look at how you move through relationships, always one foot out the door, always scanning for something better, always keeping your options open. This isn't flexibility, this is fear. Fear of being truly seen, truly known, truly vulnerable. You're not protecting yourself. You're preventing yourself from experiencing genuine connection. The cruel irony is that your search for freedom has made you less free. How many hours do you spend scrolling? How much mental energy is consumed by potential connections? How often are you physically present but mentally elsewhere, wondering about other possibilities? This isn't freedom. This is being held hostage by your own fears. Your addiction to options is destroying your ability to choose. With infinite possibilities, you've become paralyzed, unable to commit, unable to go deep, always wondering what else might be out there. You're like a person standing in a massive library, unable to read a single book because you're too busy checking the back covers of all the others. Technology has weaponized your indecision. Dating apps sell you an illusion of abundance. Endless faces, endless possibilities. But abundance isn't freedom. Abundance without depth is just another form of poverty. You're collecting potential connections like hollow currency, never investing in anything real. This pattern mirrors substance addiction more closely than you realize. The constant search for the next hit, the temporary high, the increasing need for more intense stimulation, the growing emptiness, the belief that the next experience will finally satisfy you. But it never does. Your pursuit isn't about women. It isn't about connection. It's about running. Running from yourself. Running from vulnerability. Running from the possibility of real intimacy. Each new connection is another way of avoiding the most important relationship, the one with yourself. Freedom isn't having more options. Freedom is having the courage to choose one path deeply, to commit, to show up fully, to be vulnerable, to stop hiding behind an endless parade of potential connections. The modern dating landscape has turned you into a commitment-phobic collector, collecting experiences, collecting matches, collecting potential. But a collection is not a life. A collection is not connection. A collection is just a way of avoiding the hard work of truly knowing yourself and another person. Your smartphone is not a tool of liberation. It's a tool of distraction. Each notification, each potential match, each swipe is another chain keeping you from real freedom. You believe you're exploring, but you're actually contracting, becoming smaller, more fragmented. True freedom isn't about having everything, it's about choosing something, deeply, fully, with your whole self. It's about having the courage to put down the phone, to stop searching, to be present, to choose depth over breadth. The most radical act of freedom is to stop running, to turn and face yourself, to recognize that no amount of external validation, no number of potential connections can fill the void inside you. Freedom is not about having more. Freedom is about being more. The moment of truth arrives when you stop running and actually look inside. That void you've been desperately trying to fill? It's not something to be afraid of, it's an invitation to real transformation. Most men spend their entire lives avoiding the emptiness inside. You'll do anything to escape it. Swipe another dating app, watch another video, buy another thing, message another woman. Anything to avoid sitting with the uncomfortable truth of your own inner landscape. But the void doesn't go away. It grows. What are you really afraid of when you look inside? Failure? Inadequacy? The fear that you're not enough? These aren't weaknesses. These are the doorways to your true strength. Every man carries wounds, stories, unprocessed pain. The brave ones don't run. They turn and face what's been hiding in the shadows. Self-examination is not for the weak. It takes real courage to stop the endless distraction and actually look at yourself honestly. Not with judgment, not with hatred, but with compassion, with curiosity. Who are you beneath all the performances, beneath the carefully crafted personas, beneath the endless pursuit of validation? Your inner void isn't a problem to be solved. It's a conversation to be had. It's the part of you that's been screaming for attention, for understanding. Every time you've run from it, through another conquest, another distraction, you've been running from the most important relationship in your life, the relationship with yourself. Think about the energy you've spent avoiding yourself. Hours of scrolling, countless meaningless interactions, money spent on things to fill a hole that can't be filled with external stuff. All of it, every single moment, was a way of not listening to the voice inside that's been trying to tell you something important. The void feels terrifying because society has taught you that emptiness is something to be feared. But what if emptiness is actually an opportunity? What if that feeling of lack is actually an invitation to something deeper, to real growth, to genuine understanding? Confronting your inner void means being willing to feel uncomfortable, to sit with the anxiety, to stop running, to recognize that the constant pursuit of women, of validation, of external approval, it's all been a desperate attempt to avoid this moment of reckoning. This isn't about beating yourself up. This is about seeing yourself clearly, with compassion, with honesty. The wounds you've been carrying, the fears that drive you, they're not your weakness. They're the very ground of your potential strength. Imagine for a moment what it would mean to stop filling and start listening, to treat that inner emptiness not as an enemy, but as a teacher. What if every moment of discomfort is actually a moment of potential breakthrough? What if the void is not something to be feared, but something to be understood? The work begins with radical honesty, not the kind of honesty you show others, the kind of honesty you've been avoiding with yourself. Who are you when you're not performing? What do you really want beyond the endless cycle of validation? What are the dreams you've buried beneath your need to prove yourself? This journey is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole, about integrating the parts of yourself you've rejected, the vulnerable parts, the scared parts, the parts that don't fit the image of masculinity you've been sold. The void is calling you home, not to punishment, not to judgment, but to understanding, to compassion, to a version of yourself you've been too afraid to meet. Are you ready to listen? Masculinity isn't what you've been told. It's not about conquest, performance, or how many women want you. True masculinity is about wholeness, about integrating every part of yourself, the strong and the vulnerable, the powerful and the sensitive. You've been sold a lie about what it means to be a man. Be tough. Don't show emotion. Always be in control. Prove your worth through external achievements. This isn't strength. This is a prison. Real strength is having the courage to be fully, authentically yourself. Think about the parts of yourself you've been taught to reject. Your sensitivity, your emotional depth, your capacity for vulnerability. These aren't weaknesses. These are the most powerful parts of your masculinity that you've been conditioned to hide. The parts society told you to suppress are actually your greatest source of power. Reclaiming your wholeness means breaking free from the narrow definition of masculinity that's been forced on you. You are not a machine. You are not a performance. You are a complex feeling human being with a full range of emotions and experiences. Emotional intelligence is not feminine. It's human. The ability to understand your feelings, to sit with discomfort, to be vulnerable. These are not things that make you less of a man. They are the very things that make you a complete human being. The most powerful men throughout history have been those who understood their full emotional range. Your worth is not determined by external validation, not by how many women want you, not by how much money you make, not by how tough you appear. Your worth comes from your capacity for authenticity, for depth, for genuine connection. The wounded masculine energy is driven by fear, fear of not being enough, fear of vulnerability, fear of being seen as weak. But true strength is the opposite of what you've been taught. It's the courage to be seen, to be real, to stop performing and start being. Integration means bringing together all the parts of yourself you've been taught to separate. The tough part and the sensitive part, the ambitious part and the nurturing part, the logical part and the emotional part. Masculinity isn't about being one thing. It's about being everything. Stop trying to fit into a box that was never meant for you. The definition of masculinity has been created by industries that profit from your insecurity, by a culture that wants to keep you small, fragmented, constantly searching for external approval. Your feminine energy, your capacity for empathy, for depth, for emotional intelligence, is not something to be feared or rejected. It's a source of power. The most powerful men are those who can access both their masculine and feminine qualities, who aren't trapped by rigid definitions. Imagine masculinity not as a performance, but as a journey of self-discovery, not about proving yourself, but about understanding yourself, not about conquering, but about connecting, not about being perfect, but about being whole. This journey is about reclaiming the parts of yourself you've been told to reject. Your sensitivity is strength. Your vulnerability is power. Your ability to feel deeply is not a weakness. It's your greatest asset. The world doesn't need more men trying to prove themselves. The world needs men who are willing to be real, who are willing to break free from the narrow definitions that have trapped generations, who are willing to show up fully authentically without apology. Your wholeness is your power. Your complexity is your strength. The moment you stop trying to fit into a broken definition of masculinity is the moment you become truly powerful. This isn't about becoming soft. This is about becoming complete, about recognizing that true strength isn't about what you can control, but about what you're willing to feel, about what you're willing to understand, about the depth of your humanity. Are you ready to redefine what it means to be a man? What if relationships weren't about conquering, but about connecting? What if intimacy was about seeing and being seen, rather than performing and collecting? The way you've been approaching relationships is fundamentally broken. You've been treating women like achievements to be unlocked, experiences to be collected, rather than human beings to be understood. This isn't connection. This is consumption, and it's destroying your ability to experience real intimacy. Authentic relationship begins with one radical act: seeing the other person as fully human, not as a prize, not as a validation machine, not as a conquest, but as a complete, complex, human being with their own depths, fears, dreams, and vulnerabilities. Your current approach to relationships is a defense mechanism. You keep things surface level. You show different versions of yourself. You never fully commit. You're always keeping one foot out the door, always scanning for something better. This isn't freedom. This is fear. True intimacy requires vulnerability, the very thing you've been running from. It means showing up fully with all your imperfections. It means being willing to be seen, truly seen, without the masks, without the performances. No more curated versions of yourself, just you. Stop treating dating like a game of strategy. Stop collecting experiences like they're trading cards. Stop seeing women as challenges to be conquered or problems to be solved. Relationships aren't about winning. They're about understanding. They're about growth. Depth is the antidote to your current shallow approach. Depth means being willing to have real conversations. Depth means listening more than you speak. Depth means being curious about another person's inner world, not just their external appearance. Your worth is not determined by how many women want you. Your worth is determined by your capacity for genuine connection, by your ability to be present, by your willingness to be vulnerable, by your courage to show up authentically. Imagine a relationship where you're not performing, where you're not constantly trying to prove your worth, where you can be fully yourself, scared parts and all, where connection isn't about what you can get, but about what you can share. The most attractive quality is not confidence in the way you've been taught. It's authenticity. It's the courage to be real, to admit your fears, to show your wounds, to be present without trying to fix or impress or collect. Stop treating women like they're interchangeable. Each person is a universe of experiences, of pain, of joy, of complexity. Your current approach reduces them to props in your own story. Authentic relationship means stepping out of your own narrative and truly seeing another. Commitment isn't a limitation. It's an opportunity to go deep, to grow, to understand yourself through genuine connection. The fear of commitment is just another way of avoiding yourself. Your pattern of multiple shallow connections is a way of avoiding the work of real intimacy. It's easier to collect experiences than to truly open yourself. It's easier to keep things surface level than to risk being truly known. Depth requires patience. It requires sitting with discomfort. It requires being willing to see and be seen. It means dropping the performances, the strategies, the endless pursuit. It means choosing connection over collection. This isn't about finding the perfect partner. This is about becoming the kind of person capable of real intimacy, about developing the courage to be vulnerable, to be present, to connect deeply rather than constantly seeking the next hit of validation. The most radical act of love is showing up fully, dropping the masks, being willing to be seen in all your complexity, not as a perfect version of yourself, but as your actual imperfect human self. Are you ready to stop collecting and start connecting? This is the moment of choice, the point where you decide whether you'll continue running or start truly living. Everything we've explored comes down to one fundamental truth. Your endless pursuit of women has never been about women. It's been about running from yourself, about avoiding the most important relationship you'll ever have, the one with yourself. Look back at the path we've traveled, the psychological projection, the technological manipulation, the capitalist machinery that profits from your insecurity, the deep wounds that drive your behavior, the void you've been desperately trying to fill. It's all been a complex dance of avoidance, but avoidance is no longer an option. The cost is too high. Your life is passing by while you're busy collecting experiences instead of living them. Your potential is being sacrificed on the altar of endless distraction and validation seeking. This isn't about becoming perfect. This is about becoming real, about having the courage to look inside and say, "This is me, wounded, complex, imperfect, and absolutely worthy of love." The work ahead isn't easy. It means facing the parts of yourself you've been running from. It means sitting with discomfort. It means recognizing that no amount of external validation can fill the void inside you. It means understanding that your worth was never something to be earned, but something you've had inside you all along. Your journey forward will require 3 fundamental shifts. First, radical self-honesty. Stop lying to yourself about why you do what you do. Look at your patterns with compassion but without excuse. Recognize the wounded child driving your behavior. Understand the fears beneath your actions. Second, reclaim your psychological energy. Every hour spent swiping, every moment spent chasing external validation is an hour stolen from your potential. What could you create? What could you become if you redirected that energy inward? Third, develop genuine intimacy, first with yourself, then with others. This means being willing to be vulnerable, to be seen, to stop performing and start being, to recognize that true connection isn't about collecting experiences but about depth, about understanding. The world doesn't need more men running from themselves. The world needs men who are willing to be real, who are willing to break free from the patterns that have kept them small, who are willing to show up fully, authentically, without apology. This isn't a quick fix. This is a lifelong journey of becoming, of integration, of understanding that your complexity is your strength, that your wounds, when faced, become doorways to growth. You are not broken. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a human being with infinite potential, currently trapped in patterns that no longer serve you. The choice is yours. Continue the endless pursuit that leaves you empty, or begin the real work of becoming whole. Stop collecting. Start connecting. Stop running. Start growing. The most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself, and it starts right now.